Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy, thank you so much for showing up because you're always amazing. And boy, do we have something for you. It turns out that even when gun controllers tell their people they won, they didn't win because nothing's good enough. I'm shocked. You're shocked. We're all shocked. We're about to walk you through why the Rahimi case from the left is the worst thing on the planet. This is going to be one you guys are going to love from the bottom to the top. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and we are actively in the process deploying 2A humor and sarcasm on the regular. Tim, it's a bad thing now from the left. You didn't know this? The Rahimi case.
Oh, let's hear more.
Oh, we're going to. We're going to. So, if you beautiful people are not familiar, Rahimi is a Supreme Court case that dropped this past Friday. Okay. Effectively, the left lauded it as this tremendous win for women. That was their big thing. Domestic violence restraining order holder or issue cannot have their gun rights. Effectively, that's what it meant. Okay, not getting into that right now, but I want to show that's what they're going for, right? And the left lined up to laud how amazing it was. Well, until Slate Magazine, Tim.
Oh no!
And as you know, yes, Slate Magazine is so far left that MSNBC looks at him and goes, "Wow, I can barely see him. They're so far over there."
Yeah,
it's a fact. It's true. Well,
Slate's special. That's for sure.
Slate is special, but let me bring you into the fold of why the left just can't be happy. They just can't be, and it must be so frustrating. Number 4, the Supreme Court's gun decision is not a victory for women, Tim. It's not, and this is after the Rahimi case. So let me lay a few things out for you. We'll just kind of break this down as it comes forward, because again, the mainstream left, the gun controllers, are saying, thank goodness we held the status quo. Well, not at Slate. This is number 5. The U.S. Supreme Court today broke from its recent embrace of gun rights, leaving in place a federal criminal law that makes it a felony for anyone subject to a civil domestic violence restraining order to possess a gun. As an advocate for survivors of domestic violence, today's outcome comes as a relief. Indeed, it is the result that my organization, the ACLU, asked the court to reach. So, she works for the ACLU. Mm-hmm. The ACLU wanted that outcome, and they received it. But, Tim, now why they shouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm shocked.
We got what we asked for, but we're not happy. Okay. Sounds like the left.
That's where we're going.
Perpetually angry about
sounds
something.
Like the left.
Yeah.
It's on point and on cue. All right, so this is number 6, and this is where it starts to get really fun. Even so, liberals shouldn't, as in should not, take the decision as cause for great celebration. That's because while there is no doubt in my mind that preventing perpetrators of domestic violence from obtaining guns will help prevent further violence, this case was not about whether the respondent should have been able to buy a gun. The question was whether or not he should be sent to prison for having one. That's an interesting take, Tim, on this. So they're saying they shouldn't be happy about it. They're saying the left should be up in arms. So we're kind of seeing something kind of shift in that last sentence. It's about sending someone to prison, not about what they can't have. All right? That's your first hint. And here we go. As a feminist, I care about both gender-based violence and the violence of imprisonment. Gun laws, in particular, have helped to fuel mass incarceration and contributed to disproportionate imprisonment of Black people and other people of color. So we just made a full circle, Tim.
Wow.
We made a full circle.
That's where they took this, huh?
That's where we went.
This decision is just more racism from the unbalanced Supreme Court. Little did we know.
Little did we know. You didn't know.
Didn't catch that one, but I'm not attuned to that either, so...
No, yeah. Let me do this full circle, just a high level before I show you the last one, and then we'll have some more fun with this. I'm not even going to have a sip of coffee. I'm so ready. So, Tim, as we're following this Venn diagram of crazy, we started out with the ACLU wanting and desiring for the Rahimi case to come down, and they got it.
Right.
So
but we still lost.
Exactly. But we're still victims of the system.
Yeah.
But as a feminist, while they did enact and uphold more gun control, it turns out that gun control is bad because it puts more people of color in prison. And we don't like prison and the carceral system. So therefore, here's how it works. We want more gun control because guns are bad. And domestic violence accused should not have guns. So that's good for women. But because they shouldn't have guns, per our request from the ACLU, we're now going to be putting more people in prison because of those gun crimes, which have historically put more people of minority status in prison. So therefore, it's actually a bad thing, even though it's what we wanted. I mean, dude, could you imagine having that level in your brain?
Could you imagine being married to somebody that thinks like this, and I use the term
oh my
think
God.
very loosely in this case. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you got exactly what you wanted,
Uh-huh.
but it's racist. So what you're saying is what you wanted was racist, and you were being a racist and wanting it. But now that you got it, we need to undo it. Well, we don't even really want to undo it. I mean, it's good and bad, yin and yang over here.
Exactly.
But it's all about racism now.
Yes.
And it's like,
it's tiresome, isn't it? I think is the best way to describe it.
Everything in the world that happens, bird fart, racist. It's like everything in their minds, they can connect. It's like, ever see that old television show from the UK called Connections? Where, did you know that the pyramids of Giza actually resulted in the 737 jumbo jet? And then they make the connections across time and shows how, it's a crazy show. Very cool. Well, that's what they're doing here, except they're going stupid. There's no real connection to be made. Yeah. It's like,
you have to have a victim, but that's the point. And that's why I wanted to tie this together. Because while it is absolute insanity and openly and abjectly crazy, it's very important to hit on the underlying point. The people who are telling you that you can't have your gun rights and that we need more gun control for common sense safety for everybody are the exact same people who, when they get that common sense gun control of which they pitch, are upset and decrying the fact that there are more consequences and more people in prison because of the thing that they wanted.
Right. What they really wanted.
It is mind-blowing.
What they really wanted in this was just simply white Christian males cannot have firearms, right? Because something bad's going to happen.
They didn't say it.
Because everything else is just racism if you don't take them away from the white Christian males. So, yeah.
This is so insane.
But they called themselves racists. They were saying we backed a racist move by the Supreme Court. We actively fought for it, and now we feel guilty about it. But we don't want to change anything. Just let the racism happen.
But now that we've got the gun control that we were begging and fighting for years, and months, and all the consternation. The Supreme, dude, literally, it's like trying to follow. I mean, like, you can't even think of a good analogy. You guys can leave one in the comments field if you want, but they are going after the fact and ultimately upset that the Second Amendment is a horrible thing and our gun rights are horrible and they have to destroy it. And the Supreme Court is bought and paid for and it's unbalanced and it's completely out of whack. Then they get what they want from the Supreme Court. And now that they got what they wanted from the Supreme Court, the solution that they wanted is now a racist solution because it incorporates more people going to prison. You cannot make this stuff up.
It's right there in black and white for all time.
God in heaven. Yeah. It's so cyclical. It's so cyclical. Their logic, it's not even logic.
No.
It is literally just... What just happened?
This is just spewing every talking point they can and trying to shoehorn it into a discussion about the Supreme Court. But here we go. It's like, okay, Supreme Court, you have two choices. Choose wisely. But both are wrong. You choose this one,
right?
You're a misogynistic, racist bastards. And then if you choose this one, you're misogynistic, racist bastards. So
weird.
Choose wisely, Supreme Court. Either way, we're stacking it. You know, it's like,
right.
This goes beyond even the fence sitter. So like, we were talking about
Yes,
Murphy and claiming all these great things in his Safer Communities Act, right? In a previous video.
Yep.
Well, here we have these clowns out there doing the exact same thing, but even more off the spectrum of lunacy. Right?
That's exactly right.
It's like, wow.
It's crazy, isn't it? And I got one more for you.
Yeah, I just.
That was
the point, I guess, with that one is like, how this doesn't even like appeal to the fence sitters. I mean, even leftists have to be looking at this going, huh? Anyway,
you would hope to God that would be the case. Yeah. You would hope to God. Well, but that's why we do what we do, Tim. We bring out the crazy. We put on our little aspirators of freedom and we dive into the insane. All right. This is number 8. This really, sounds the whole thing. Jeez. This is where it all settles it all together. All right. This is the beautiful cherry on top. Funneling the problem of gender-based violence into the criminal legal system may not sound so bad if the alternative is no response at all. That's the problem the court faced in Rahimi, but that's a false choice. Sound familiar? Constructed via decades of reliance on criminal legal responses to violence in America's legislatures, executive branches, and state and federal courts. So now, Tim, it's decades of reliance on criminals going to criminal places like jail and prison. And so it turns out the entire system is bad.
Well, it's all racist.
Because it's all racist. They should never have given them the gun control that they asked for and begged for, because that's going to put more people in prison, as it has since 1968 and 1934 and 1986. But that's good because common sense gun safety allows us to be more safe. But the people that's keeping us safe, who are violating those laws, which we said are so necessary and important, are going to prison. And that in itself is another problem. So it's very simple, Tim. We have all the gun control laws, and this is the crazy payoff here. We have all the gun control laws in the world, but they have no penalties because then there will be no one in prison. But so it makes that's the best of both worlds. There's no consequences, but there are laws. So we feel good about having the laws, but there's no consequences for people going to prison because prison is bad after decades of all this reliance.
Isn't this amazing?
You can't make this up.
And you wonder why we have wild crime in our far left-leaning areas.
Oh,
of course, that's
insane.
down because nobody's reporting the crime, but it's, yeah. It's like I saw some conversation on X where people were talking about, well, this crime rate, the Republicans are just making it up. It's actually going down. And then people started posting all these links to like all the Walgreens stores shutting in California. It's like all these businesses putting up plexiglass in their stores and locking everything down. Yeah, it's all fictitious, folks. There's nothing really to see here. This is the same crew that in the 2020 election were saying defund the police. Now here they're saying, yeah,
exactly right.
We want these laws. These laws are necessary, but they are racist. And so we're going to go ahead and charge you, but then we're going to release you because if actually putting you in prison is really a racially motivated move. And so, yeah, the laws are really important and the bans are really important. But really, as Chris Murphy said, we just want to be more careful who gets the guns, not a real ban. I mean, we don't really want to put anybody in jail either for breaking the laws that we arbitrarily create because that's racist. Wow. I mean, this goes beyond mental gymnastics. This is just straight up frickin' stupidity. I mean,
yes, it is.
So there's a gaggle of morons over here at this publication because not only did the moron write this, then they had a gaggle of morons up top that goes, oh, this is a great article. You want a front page of this one? Good. This is good. Wow. I didn't even make that connection. That's awesome. Who would have thought? I mean, you really did your research here.
Yeah,
brought the receipts. It's all about racism.
Exactly. So now, Tim, we finally understand the less perfect world. We have more gun control laws because gun control laws by themselves prevent everything. We don't have any penalties on those laws because penalties are mean and racist. Right. And if we had penalties, we'd put people in prison. We can't have that because it might disproportionately affect minorities. Although we're going to avoid the idea that we just said that minorities are the ones causing the crime inadvertently, even though we can't say that because the system is mean. These guys step on their own feet every chance
so
they get.
I wonder if they get an assault weapons ban that they so desperately want, would it be racist if they enforced it?
Yes.
So
yes,
they'll pass a really strict ban and ban everything that loads itself, but we're really not going to charge anybody with a crime and nobody's going to go to jail because that would be racist. But boy, we put this really strict law in the books. Okay, if that's what you want to do. I mean, you pass your stupid law and not enforce it. Okay, I guess that works.
You mean, Tim, wait a minute, are you implying that people don't just follow laws just because they're laws?
Well, no.
You mean putting penalties on laws is required?
Well, no. Who would do that? That's racist.
Right. That's terrible.
You're a racist.
It's meanest.
You are.
Oh, don't be like that.
Well, you're backing their racist play. Are we done with Slate?
The racist play of holding penalties on laws?
That's racist, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You know the only people you're going to impose those laws against are people that don't look like you.
Oh, don't be like that.
They've never put a white man in prison, ever.
Serious fire.
Anyway.
What?
Of course, I'm being facetious. All right, are we done? Can we put Slate to bed?
We're done. We can move past Slate.
Goodbye, Slate. You're idiots.
Until the next one.
Yeah. Morons. Write another article so we can pick that one apart. Keep us employed, you goons. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.